Hey team, Rowan here. Given how the beginning of my year went, like most of it so far, I've decided to dig this out of my journal from June 2014. It's like almost a decade ago. And I call it the stress egg. It's a technique that I used to use a lot, and I realized that I did not use it the entire time that I was going through all the medical stuff. It might have helped. So, okay. Imagine the overall state of your stress and mental well-being contained within an egg. Now, over time, that egg is bound to get a tiny little crack. After all, we live busy lives. We spend a lot of energy on other people, to the point of sometimes feeling guilty about taking care of ourselves. Taking care of ourselves is important. You know that old thing about if you're on a plane that's having some trouble, you put on your mask before you help somebody next to you? It's the same thing. And it's a problem when we ignore what we need. It's an even bigger problem when that egg starts to crack, and we choose to do nothing about it. We don't want to worry anyone, and it starts so small that no one else even notices anyway, so we say nothing. Every time we say we're fine when we're not, that crack gets bigger. Now, this is not a normal bird egg. This is a person egg. See, this egg, like an ogre, has layers. This is part of why we tend to ignore the cracks. Different people and different situations means a different amount of layers. So it can be difficult to tell how many you have to begin with. Most of us underestimate the amount we have. And how fast these layers chip away depends on your overall mental health, stress level, daily activities, friends, supports, physical health. And if you aren't careful, eventually, you'll just be holding the yoke. It slips through fingers until you can't pretend anymore. Worry not, this is totally fixable. Therapy. But also, first, pick up what you can of that yoke. This means taking a step back to breathe. Think about what is actually happening in your life. Do not think about how to solve the world's problems, right? We're thinking small here. We're thinking just your personal world. Think about the things that you personally are doing, and then attempt to put those things in a box to the side. Physically or just emotionally, whatever you can manage. You'll deal with them later. Right now, they are mucking up the yolk. Then have friends, doctor, family, whoever you can, hold that shell while you gently pour it back in. In other words, ask for help. Talk about it. There is no shame in asking for assistance, and in some cases, asking for help can prevent such shedding of layers to begin with. Once you've found someone to act as your assistant / partner / whatever, again, just say what is going on. Be honest. Because being honest will help the process go smoothly, as everyone will be on the same page with what you actually need. Okay, so now you have the yolk back in that shell, meaning you have this kind of safety net, at least emotionally. The next step is to patch it all up. I'm going to say also, this technique works best after the trauma is over, not necessarily while you're still in it, but some of the things I'm about to say can help while you are in it. Or while you're leading up to it, if you have something scheduled, like a very scary appointment, as an example. So this is not about burying any of it. Okay, when we say patch it up, that's just building some struts to keep things back in place. It's about building yourself back up in a safe way while putting in some outlets to help keep you healthy. Now then, take out a piece of paper to start writing. Or type, digital age. You're going to write a few different lists here. Maybe even a spreadsheet. I make lots of spreadsheets ever since marrying Rob. The first one, just to get it out of the way, is a list of current things that do stress you out. They can be upcoming appointments or world news or anything else, whether you have a real impact on the stressors or not. List them all. And then along the top, you want to write stress, worst case scenario, what I can do to prepare for that. You can also put most likely scenario, what you might do to prepare for that. Some of these categories won't have immediate answers, but discuss with your assistant and try to keep things generally positive. The point is to force yourself to think of how likely it is that you won't wind up with the worst case scenario. Because even if you do, you'll have an idea of what to do next. You'll know what happens next. Or at least as much as you can know. Now you're going to take that lump of stress and you're going to put it physically aside. It's out of your head. You don't have to ever look at it again if you don't want to, or keep it around later if you might be able to scribble out a line or two after things occur. On the next list, write what you need in your life. This list can be as simple or as complicated as you like. General needs like a roof over your head, or specific needs like talking to that one friend you haven't spoken to in years. It's all good. Next, write down what you actually need to do. Like, this keeps you alive, right? You narrow down what you wrote, and maybe you add a few things too. This is what you literally cannot survive without. Make sure to include daily things for health and hygiene. Keep this one simple and to the point. And for all of these lists, keep in mind, is there anything I can delegate? Is there anything I can have someone help me with? Always keep that in mind. You're not alone. You may feel alone, but you're not. So talk about it with your assistant. Next, write what you wish would happen. This is best case scenario. If you're in a bad enough mindset where realistic seems impossible, feel free to get silly with this. Travel, a book deal, whatever you want. Write steps you can take, even little steps to get to where you want to be. Talk about it. Every single one of these steps, talk about it. This will place the words onto your egg to start those repairs. It gives you a little bit of a boundary between your what-ifs that are awful, nerve-wracking, and the maybe actuallys. Keep that nice list somewhere handy, like an inspiration board maybe. Now let's get a new sheet of paper. On this one, we're going to write just what makes you happy. Keep in mind, the items on these lists can absolutely overlap. If you can, do some of those things that make you happy. Think about why you enjoy them. Do them again. Playing games, meditating, eating your favorite meal, drinking tea, going outside, taking a hot bath, guinea pigs existing. Just whatever. Looking at pictures of cute animals is usually helpful to me. That's what all of my friends wound up collectively doing when I was in need. Just instinctively, they all started sending me animal videos. I don't really know why, but I really like that was the thing everyone did. In any case, this will act as another layer for your egg. And this does not mean your egg will be as good as new. That takes time. The key thing is to repair enough in order to function again without feeling entirely overwhelmed. And when I say function, it's not the same as the way the state might say function. Like, our medical system here in America is funky, and we say functioning in terms of, can you work? Can you produce things in capitalism? Do you stress other people out? It's a lot of that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it will help you function for yourself, to be where you personally feel most comfortable. Okay, keep that in mind too. And the other half after all that is maintaining some elements of self-care and remembering that you are a human being. You are not a robot. This is your life. You are a person, and that is important. Again, remember, you are not alone in this journey. Everybody's got something, If at any point, before, during, or after any of these lists, you feel the need or simply want to talk to a counselor, please do not be afraid to go ahead and do so. Seriously. People tend to think that you have to already be in crisis to talk to a professional, and in some cases, you might need a diagnosis just for insurance to cover it. Again, our healthcare system is garbage. But preventative medicine is important for your mind as well as your body. It's just like any other checkup, right? So be gentle with your egg, and be good to yourself. And leave some comments in the area below of just stuff that makes you happy. Rock on.